For centuries, women's health has been incomplete. Northwell is filling in the missing pieces. That's why more women choose us than any other health system in New York. Northwell, raise health.
How are you? Good. Are we ready?
You feel? Yep, you your day.
Okay.
I always get so nervous today.
I do too.
Okay.
I think what it is that it's our community
Yeah.
and it's our friends
Yeah.
and it's the people that we have bonded with and we respect so much that we don't want to fail in any way, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
You are performing tonight. 2 songs for your new album.
Yeah.
You've been going back and forth from Los Angeles to Nashville.
Yeah.
I didn't know that is this country?
Yeah, it's country music. Yeah, I've done pop and all the other things, but I grew up in Maine, and that's growing up on country music. I always say I'm not really country. I'm definitely more of a redneck, but so yeah, country music.
And you're feeling well. You've figured out a way to navigate your endometriosis so that you've been able to have the creative energy and the physical energy to make this album.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually probably 2 months before I started writing the album, I had my endo surgery, so everything just kind of lined up so I'd be able to be at my top performance while recording and all of that good stuff.
I always like to ask people who have gone through some of the hardest, lowest points with endometriosis, what their advice is for people out there who maybe don't feel a room full, a gala full of support. What is your advice
For people who don't feel that type of...
who don't feel, right now, like we've connected, we have our friendship, we have our bond. So many people in this room can relate to what we're feeling. And we have this community.
Yeah, so I think for people who might not have this, I think being really honest about where you're at, honesty is key. I always preface everything I say. I've actually stopped doing it now, but saying what I'm about to say is TMI, and I stopped saying that because I'm like, you know what? If I'm in pain, if I have this chronic disease, then, I'm going to tell people. And I think that you'll be really surprised at the people who end up coming into your life and wanting to support you. I mean, the only reason that I even was invited to, into EndoFound, the Blossom Ball and all that stuff is because I made a silly little blog post and, someone saw it and they were like, oh, here's this community. So I think just honesty about where you're at and how you're feeling, people will meet you where you're at. So yeah, I love that.
Honesty is the best policy.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's not TMI. You're just saying this is what I'm going through. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Well, break a leg.
Thank you.
And have fun.
Thank you. I will. I absolutely will. This is to be my favorite hair. Fun. Thank you. What do you know that? I'm sorry. I'm like, it's the...
Abby, you have endometriosis. What is your advice for those people out there who are watching who might not feel like they have a community to support them?
I think online is a really great place to go to try and find people that you might be able to just talk to. I think that that's one of the beautiful things about social media, about the internet, is that you can find people that you may never meet face to face who understand what you're going through. So that's probably a good way to start.
What do you wish the general population understood about endometriosis that many times is lost?
That has nothing to do with a bad period. That in fact, you don't necessarily have to have a heavy, painful period because the symptoms range so great and they are so different for every person. Like for me, for example, I don't have heavy periods. So I was told I didn't have endo for years, over and over and over again, because my symptoms are in other parts of my body. So that's the main one. I'm like, it's not a period.
Right. And you just added something that I always like to note. Endometriosis can be extrapelvic. That means involving organs that are not just our uterus or our ovaries. It can go into our kidneys. It can cause lung collapse, bowel obstruction. It is not at all a benign disease. It is quite insidious. And are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that I was 100% better. I think I had surgery 2 years ago. And that was the same time that I found out that I had it, because as you know, you need to be cut open to figure out if you've got it. And I had the surgery, and I would say that my symptoms got better by like 35, 40%. So I have some relief, and I'm really grateful for that. And some relief is a lot when you've dealt with pain for a long time, but I still do deal with it every day. And I keep trying things, you know, and I'm staying actively trying to figure it out.
And see, that's why we're all here tonight, so that we don't have 35 to 40% symptom relief, that we get 100% symptom relief and our quality of life back to living. I really wish you so much good health and to feel better.
Thank you.
It was nice talking with you. Thank you. This is a reunion that I've been waiting for since we talked. I wasn't sure, you know, when you meet someone new, how you're gonna hit it off or relate to each other, and I felt like I found a kindred spirit in you.
Thank you. I actually feel the same way as well. Thank you. Yeah.
And I don't usually get emotional when I talk about endometriosis. I've kind of put like my own block and my own barrier, but then you can feel what someone else has gone through, and I think it's really important that there's voices like yours that are allowing others, including my own voice, to feel safe, to be able to be amplified about this disease. What does being here mean for you tonight?
It means surviving. It means thriving. It means it is the power of tenacity, the strength of a woman, the power in a medical specialist who chooses to show up and advocate to community. Because I was saying earlier, I've never actually been in a room full of other people who have had this experience with endometriosis. We've just had so much experience with pain. And pain, when I say pain, I know it can be taken lightly or somewhat flippantly because it's a word that we use quite often, but it's an understatement when you think about what we endure. So it means there's no all-encompassing word. It means hope for everyone.
Yeah, that's what everything is in this room right now. Like you said, it's tenacity, it's resilience, and more importantly, it's hope.
Yeah.
Because everyone deserves to live a fulfilled, healthy, pain-free life. And we know with endometriosis, the bodily pain is almost impossible to explain, but the pain that comes along with it psychologically and the social implications and career implications, I mean, that is a whole other kind of pain that we don't even scratch the surface as to the nuance that this disease can destroy.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
It's like they
I am so excited to watch your acceptance speech tonight for the Blossom Award. She is our Blossom Award honoree tonight, Falake, and you're going to just continue to do great things for the endo community.
Amen. Your lips to God's ears.
Tell us about your endo documentary.
Oh my gosh, yes, of course. My sister and I, we both have endo, we created an endometriosis documentary for teenagers called Silent Suffering. It's on YouTube right now. It's mainly focused on how endometriosis affects teens, because I think that it's so unspoken in a way in the world of like teenagers and younger women. Because especially in high school, periods and everything surrounding like menstrual cycle has such a stigma around it. And I think it's so important to break that stigma. And I think the best way to do it is to expose people to what that looks like and what could possibly be endo for some girls. Because for me personally, I think the hardest part about having endometriosis was I felt so alone. And if I could have, just one young woman feel less alone by watching the documentary, then I feel like we will have succeeded.
Now that you've found your endo community, what is it like being here tonight?
Honestly, it's such a dream because, like I said before, I felt so lonely in my journey with endometriosis. So to have found this community of, other women who are so strong, it feels so incredible because that's something I wish that I would have had in the beginning of my endometriosis journey. And I think that my biggest goal is to just help other women find that community faster.
And also with a film such as yours, you're helping people recognize the signs and symptoms of endo that maybe otherwise they wouldn't have. And we do know that there is such a delay in diagnosis between 7 to 12 years. So this hopefully will be a way to make sure that people get the treatment sooner so that they don't have to suffer as long.
100%. I was so lucky to, my diagnosis only took 3 years. But that's because I have my mom by my side advocating for me every single step of the way. But some women don't have that person next to them to advocate for them and just be there as like a rock. So if I'm able to help women find their voice and to be able to be their own advocate, then that's I think my biggest goal, is because it's hard to speak up for yourself sometimes. And I was so lucky to have my mom there, but some women don't have that.
And you are helping people empower themselves with your film, with your work, and you are a true endo warrior and advocate. Thank you. So you are completely famous on social media for coming up to people and saying, hey, what are you wearing? What are you doing? And you get people to say some like prophetic truths about their lives and their work. How did you come up with this?
Honestly, I was looking for my own career and had no idea what I was doing. And then at some point, I started asking people, what do you do for a living? And then next thing you know, I kind of level follow-up questions, and I enjoyed the question. I went ahead and created so much content, and that's exactly where I found that question.
And you serendipitously found out about Endo and the EndoFound because you asked one of one of my colleagues, Sarah Murphy, what she did for a living, and she gave you an earful about endometriosis.
Honestly, I mean, first and foremost, thanking Kim for inviting me. Amazing individual. Jesse, a good friend of mine now. Yeah, I went ahead, I interviewed her, and I had no idea what it was until she literally gave me a full lesson about it. And I'm so happy, and now I'm here trying to spread as much as positivity and kindness in regards to endo as well, too. So
No, we appreciate it. That video did so much in terms of education and advocacy. It's incredible what the reach can be. And I think what you're doing too is just, you're showing a lot of empathy and compassion for people that may not get that in their everyday life. And you're getting to do that online.
you know, that video alone cleared like 6 million views. And my team literally goes in and reposts that video every single time, and it clears 1 million right off the bat within seconds. The biggest goal is always bringing awareness, and I think that's very important, as you can see.
And clearly it's resonating because people are watching it and sharing it. And that means that endometriosis isn't an invisible disease. People want to learn more. They want to recognize it. And we are so happy that you're championing the cause.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, this is so nice. I am so happy because I'm getting to see you in person. You have just been a ray of sunshine. I mean, legitimately sunshine. Always the happiest person. DM with you. You always want to be helpful. That's a rarity, especially with humans nowadays. So it's a pleasure to have you here. How do you feel being amongst your community of endo warriors?
You're going to make me cry right now. I told my husband to pack some extra tissue paper because I'm going to cry. So thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. We've been trying to come the last 2 years since I've been diagnosed, and to be here, it's so surreal. I wish I can tell my 14, 15-year-old self that I'm not alone. Like, there's this huge Peoria community. I'm going to cry. Here for all of us, and it's amazing. It's an honor to be here for sure. And I'm not alone.
You're not alone. You're so not alone. And that's the thing about endometriosis. I can't even begin to break down the infrastructures that society has built around women so that they felt like they had to suffer in silence. And now that we're all using our voices, small voices in communities to large platforms like those with EndoFound, it's resonating. And then it brings us all together. So we're sounding an alarm, but it's more like a beautiful chorus that we're all here to make sure that we'll never feel alone, that nobody feels alone that has endometriosis. If you could give one nugget of wisdom to someone who's watching us right now about empowering themselves, what would that be?
A couple of things. One, obviously you're not alone. There's a whole community behind you. And two, to advocate for yourself. I've learned that I had to advocate for myself before I advocate for other women. And that to get a second or third opinion, because my mom and I, just trying to figure out what was wrong with me at that time, my young teen years, was there's something else wrong, and one doctor is not enough because not all doctors are trained to learn about endometriosis. And so just get a second or third opinion and find your boxing gloves on and listen to your body. Your body is not your enemy, it's your messenger. And I always thought my body was my enemy. We can relate. But I like that. Your body is your messenger. It's just taking notes and reflecting them back to you so you could help yourself. Exactly.
Thank you for helping others, Autumn.
I appreciate it.
And enjoy tonight.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Why is it so important for you to be here tonight?
It's so important, first and foremost, because I suffer with endometriosis myself. It has really impacted my life for many, many, many years. Fertility, just my day-to-day, my productivity, my ability to just like enjoy my life. And it impacts, 1 in 10 women who are also often suffering in silence. And it is the most challenging, painful, and isolating condition to live with.
And one that takes years to get a diagnosis. And like you said, in those times, feeling completely isolated, completely alone, sometimes being misdiagnosed and even gaslit. What advice do you have for those right now that may have not found their endo community?
I think those communities are out there. I started one myself. My company Looney has a WhatsApp community. We have a specific subgroup dedicated to endometriosis. So I think, you can use technology to find your people. I spent all of my 20s, if not longer, feeling completely alone. And, now I found this amazing community through EndoFound. I've created a community myself. I'm here with a friend, actually a friend with endometriosis. That's everything. We were just getting really emotional in the car on the ride up here, just saying in my 20s, I wish I'd had just somebody who understood. And it affects 1 in 10, if not more, closer to 1 in 4. So your community is out there. So just a little Google, a little searching, and we're here and we are ready to support people who are going through this journey.
I am based out of Sydney, Australia.
So you came all that way partially to be here tonight. Why was it so important for you? And I know that you're an endo warrior.
Yes, I'm an endo warrior. I had a 6-hour excision surgery with Dr. Sejkin, and I feel so lucky to have found him because the surgery went wonderfully. I now have a 3-year-old boy, Jackson Steele, and for me, I hear so many stories about girls getting ablation surgery or having to have multiple surgeries, and I had stage 4 endo. Like I said, a 6-hour surgery. I am symptom-free, I feel amazing, and I know that it's because I had the best surgeon in the world, but not everyone can get to the best surgeon in the world. So the more awareness we have for endometriosis, the more other surgeons and will be more aware of what to do right and what's the appropriate treatment. And also more money will go into funding research, and we'll have more of an understanding of where endo comes from and how to appropriately treat it.
What advice do you have for those in the endo community who might be feeling frustrated and discouraged and might not feel like they're ever going to get the treatment they need?
Well, first of all, stop eating and being near anything inflammatory is so important. I have a song. No soy, no wheat, no sugar, no meat, no dairy. My diet's very boring. But it really works until you have the surgery. I also take Pycnogenol, which, by the way, stops it from. I thought I'd cured my endo, and then it just stops it from hurting. It's pine bark extract, and it's an anti-inflammatory. It is so good. It had a huge impact for me. But also, don't get ablation. It doesn't work. And definitely excision surgery, preferably with someone who's been doing it for a long time, preferably with Dr. Sejkin, but, with someone that's using a scalpel by hand, maybe not robotics so much. I don't know. I've heard. I don't know anything. I'm not a doctor, but that was the choice I made. Yeah.
And you're feeling great now.
I am feeling great now. I honestly don't have symptoms. My periods don't even hurt, unless I've been eating junk food
for a couple of days, or if I've drunk
Everything that Kim's saying, I'm like, oh, like the one thing. And I know you're so right, because everything that when I eat processed foods, I inflame.
Oh yeah, it's so bad. Or drink alcohol. If I drink any booze, not so much. So I just don't drink and I don't eat junk. Which is awesome, because now we're gonna like live longer because we're eating healthy and taking care of our bodies. But
See, there's the benefits. There's the benefits. Well, I hope you have fun tonight. And it's very nice to meet you finally. Good to meet you. Well, have fun.
For centuries, women's health has been incomplete. Northwell is filling in the missing pieces. That's why more women choose us than any other health system in New York. Northwell, raise health.